Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So I picked up some construction barrels, little guys. Got a pack of 10 of them. Got them on eBay. Can't remember what I paid for them, but they were dirt cheap. But they're kind of boring. So this time around, we're gonna spruce these things up a little bit. Okay, so like I say, they're boring. We got to spruce them up. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm driving down the road and I see these orange barrels, a lot of times they look a lot more like this. So what we're going to do, we're going to make them look better. It'll be going to drill some holes in them. We're going to add some LED flashing lights to them, throw a little paint, throw some white lines on them. And yeah, we'll get them ready for real life construction zones. All right, so here we are at the workbench. I'm going to show you the few things that you need. I mean, this is a pretty simple process. And obviously you need your construction barrel. Like I said, I got these on eBay. I can't remember the seller's name, but if you just put in O-scale orange construction barrels, I'm sure you'll find them. Like I say, the price was good. I think they ended up being about 50 cents a piece. So that's one thing. Another thing that we need are these little, I've showed these in a video before. They're pretty cool. They are simple little, these are rated for 12 to 9 volt little LEDs, but they're flashing. So it's kind of cool. So you're gonna need those. Here again, dirt cheap. They cost about 50 cents a piece. I bought these on Amazon. I think it was a 10 pack for like $5.99, something like that. Gonna need a couple of drills. This part you can do it however you want. I'm using white paper and a little bit of glue for my white stripes that are gonna go around and a little bit of black paint. So first thing we're gonna do is we've got to prepare our barrel. You can use this a few different ways. I have found that I'm going to be drilling 2 holes. The hole that's going to be through the top is going to be smaller, so it's just big enough for my light to come through, because I'm going to be running this wire up through the bottom of my barrel. So that one is a, I use a 5/32 on it. Load that sucker up. Okay, whoa. And now I'm sure everybody's gonna say, oh, you have to be careful, do it this way, do it that way. This is the way I do it. Was it the 5/32? Let's double check that. Yeah, that's the one that I wanted. I had a little bit of brain fart there, guys. You know how that one goes. So this one we're not doing deep. Come on, start. I'm only going down down about 1/4 of an inch into the top of this barrel. Let's grab this real quick here. And just using a little flathead screwdriver to make sure the inside of it's clean. So there we go. I got a nice hole drilled in there. Now we're gonna go bigger. This time I'm using a 13/64. Now you're saying, why those oddball size? I found out that these, just in my own opinion, it's almost that perfect size hole that I'm making without it being too big. I don't want it to come through the sides or anything. I went a little bit larger and on one in the previously, and it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Whoops, slippery hands.
you could maybe put this in a vise and do it that way. Use a sharper drill bit would also be helpful. One of the things I do is sometimes I just let the bit do the work by kind of just opening up a little bit. My right hand is stronger here. Come on. And I think I got it through far enough. What I do is I just look in the other end to see if I still see my drill bit yet. Because I don't want, obviously you don't want to go all the way through. Now I had tried using a set of pliers to hold this before, but what happens is they kind of mess up the edges of the barrel. And there we go. So I got my hole in there, very simple. As you can see, and we just run our wire through and bingo. There you go. Can you see how that came through right there? Now what I will do is, after I get done, I'll do my painting and stuff first, and then I'll just put a little drop of crazy glue, super glue, or whatever type of glue you want to use. I find that the super glue works really well for me. And that'll hold that in there nice and tight. So let's take that off and we'll go off to the next step. Okay, so the next step, I'm not the best at, I'll be honest with you. I am a terrible painter. My hands aren't quite steady enough for this sometimes. But using the right size brush does help. And so I just set it down. And run it around the edges. You know, they have that black ring on the bottom of these. And voila. Now I may or may not come back and put a second coat on this one. It looks like it could have been a little bit better, but there you go. You're putting that little black ring on there. Super simple. Now, when it comes to the white rings that you would put on here, you could paint them. I don't have a steady enough hand to make it look really nice, so I figured out a real simple way of doing it. So let's go, let me get this stuff cleaned up, let this dry, and I'll be right back and we'll show you how I'm gonna do the white rings.
Hey, let me give you a quick layout update while we're waiting on that paint to dry. Okay, so I've been concentrating on my carnival area. Got a sign up. You can't really tell, but I've made a little sticker on there. It's a Naniland Fun Park where the fun never ends. Nani is my wife. So I did a little landscaping on the roller coaster. In the back over here is going to be like the area where people get on. I'm going to have an additional platform with a bridge that comes over the top, a walkway bridge that will come over the top to behind the Christmas tree here. And the Christmas tree is just obviously temporary. This is temporary. I'll be talking about that in just a second. One of the other things is I picked up online. This is actually an HO crossing signal that I picked. It works off of a 3-volt system. I got it from Eve Model USA on eBay. I went with an HO size because it's more of a walk path area, and this is where my my little kiddie train that comes around that I have set up. As you'll see as it comes around, you know, it's all classic. The people were riding the gondola cars. So that's why I had to have
that set up over there. So that is just there for testing purposes. It's just an old banjo crossing signal. I'm going to have a ride that goes there. What I've done, and I will elaborate on this more in a future video, I have a setup where I bought a little timing module. Now you'll notice in another 3 seconds, that banjo is going to turn off. Now it's going to stay off, and you can program the time. It's going to stay off for 30 seconds. At the end of that 30 seconds, it's going to turn back on. So I'm going to have that set up for the actual one of the rides, the rocket ship ride that I purchased through Coaster Dynamics. That is going to go over there. Over here, I'm planning on having another ride. My goal is to have, I don't know how I'm going to fit them all in here, but 4 different rides in here. Or maybe 3 rides, so turn back on. Maybe 3 rides and another couple of game booths of some type. I did make a little food corridor area over here with my food trucks that I have. So, yeah, that's where we're at right now. I do have an area back behind where those boxes are stacked up. My future plans on that, which I've talked about before, is to build a auto museum. So, all right, so that's where we're at now. And let's get back. That paint should be dry about now. Okay, so while I'm waiting for this guy to dry, let me show you real quickly on how these little LED flashing lights work. Now, one thing that's important, they are, like some lights, it doesn't matter which wire hooks to which. These, you got to have your positive to the positive and negative to the negative. But it's pretty simple. I've got this plugged into just a little 12 volt, I think it puts out 100 milliamp little, like a phone charger. And I've already hooked up my positive side, and there we go. It's a nice, cool little thing. Like I say, these things were very inexpensive. I got them through Amazon. You could just probably just do an Amazon search for 12 volt LED flickering light. I think that's what I ended up. I know that you can even get them in different colors. I'm planning on down the road actually maybe putting these in one of my construction vehicles. I thought that'd be kind of cool. Maybe get some red ones, put them in some of the police cars. If you have multiples of them, they won't all flash together. They will flash randomly. So yeah, so there you go. So let's get back to this guy, and then we can get everything, we'll get those. It seems like that's getting dry. Yeah, it's dry enough. I should probably put a second coat on that, but just to speed things up, we'll just let it go as it is. All right, so next we are going to put our white lines on here. Now, if you have a steady hand and you want to paint them, knock yourself out. It's probably a little easier than the way I'm going to do this. You'd probably have to do 2 coats. You can also do this. I have tried this using white stickers and just cutting them real fine. These are about 1/4 inch ridges in here. So, but the way I found it, I just take a sheet of paper and I make about a 1/4 inch strip. I'll make 2. Make sure that's straight. There we go. Yeah, it looks like that'll work. Pretty easy. And then that's going to go around here. Now, like I say, you could use a sticker. I found the stickers were a little tricky because sometimes the adhesive, because it's real small, the adhesive will get wear off and stuff. So one of the ways that I do it, let's see, I actually use this little extra piece of paper here. Glue, just good regular old white glue. You could use different types of glue. Put a little glob down there. Okay, so, and then I find that applying this with a toothpick works really well. And I just, well, I should back this up and not do it up there. I just kind of had it forward because I had a little bit better light. Let's bring this light back a bit. There we go. So, just by applying a fine amount of glue, all the way around. You don't want to do too much because you don't want it oozing out the edges and it gets a little messy. But once you get it on there, and I'm going to let it get a little tacky. And blowing on it helps speed things up a little bit. Then we're going to take my strip, and what I do is I kind of get a little bit of a curve going to it and just set it down on there and run it around. I don't have the steadiest of hands today. But while that glue is still a little damp, you're able to move it around a little bit if you have to. And then what I do is once I've got it all the way around, let it overlap a little bit. I just take my razor and I'll take a tiny, tiny, tiny little dab where I made that cut. How about that? There's white stripe number 1. Let's do the second. Okay, like I say, we put that glue on there, run it all the way around. I'm sure there's a lot of different ways to do this. I'm just showing you how I'm doing it. Okay, so there we have our first, or our little coat of that. I wonder if this piece is big enough to make it all the way. Well, I don't want to take any chances that I come up short. And then just run it around like you did that. And then what I do is I use my toothpick just to make sure I'm getting it going straight. And then once I've got it around, now if you wanted to, you could run that twice around, get a little bit more solid line. And if you wanted to also, you don't have to use white. Some of the barrels have more of a silver reflective stuff on them. I find white's the easiest to work with. It doesn't always come out perfect. You know, how often are people looking at this, getting right down there and looking at it, So there it is. So we got that in there. Now, I would normally wait a little while for this to completely dry, but let's go ahead and put our light in right now. So I just put a little bit of super glue in there, in that hole, and then I'll run my light up. Now, you don't want to bring that light through too far either. I mean, you can bring it further through if you want, but that's another reason why I use 2 different size holes. These lights have, well, I can't really show you here right now. Let me finish this real quick and set this down. See how nice is the super glue dries clear. So it helps fill in that little hole. I don't know if this is going to show up on the camera or not, but there is a small ridge in this light. So, and that's why I found it using that the 5/32 hole as the first hole. Then when you put it through, this ridge catches and won't go all the way through that hole. And it brings it out just far enough for me. So that's why I'm using that exact size. So, and there you have it. There's my construction barrel. So let's show you it out on the layout, okay? All right, so there you have it. That's how you take, oh, tripod's a little messed up. That's how you take that and you turn it into that. That, even with my filming and the breaks and stuff, it took me less than 10 to 15 minutes to do that. It's an easy process. You spend more time waiting for stuff to dry than you do the actual work itself. The way I did the, on my layout, I did 5 of these. I put them in a little piece of foam board, cut a channel underneath the foam board to run the wiring, and then the wiring goes down through the bottom. Like I say, the wiring is color specific on this, so make sure that first time I hooked it up, they weren't working right. I couldn't figure out what was wrong, and it's because I didn't have the positive on the positive lead. So just take that in mind if you do pick any of these guys up. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I can't thank you enough for the support I'm getting and the comments I've been getting on the layout. I've been working real hard on it. It's a never-ending work in progress. Still have a lot of wiring left to do, a ton of landscaping. I'm taking my time. It's the winter time. I get to spend more time down here instead of out in the yard doing yard work. Right now my main focus, I'm working on that carnival. Through Coaster Dynamics, they have some really cool carnival rides. If you go to their website, coasterdynamics.com, and when you look at their different stuff, click on the link that says Classics. They have a really cool rocket ship ride. They have one that's called a Kangaroo. I'm planning on getting that. They have a Doodle Bug that is really neat. It's a little pricey. They got a neat spinning rocket ship ride. Here again, that one's a little pricey, but it's cool. And they have some amazing roller coasters that are O-scale roller coasters. So yeah, check them out. It's a good site. Only downside I'll say with them, if you order from them, the shipping's kind of high. They charge you $25 an item for the shipping, at least on the items that I'm getting. I found that to be a little excessive, but hey, it is what it is. They had a Black Friday sale for Thanksgiving where it was 25% off. So on the rocket ship ride that I'm purchasing, it was $100. The 25% off ended up covering the shipping for me. So, I'll take that. All right, guys. As always, thanks for watching, and choo-choo!